Hey girl, hey, Cece back with another video. Welcome or welcome back. So hey girl, hey, my name is Cece. If you don't know, I'm just a regular girl trying to live a fit girl's lifestyle, okay? So if you like that type of content, make sure you comment down below. Let me know you made it. Subscribe if you have not, and also follow me on all the socials. Everything will be linked down below in the description box. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to stick to a routine. Now, if you watched my last video, you saw me on the struggle bus trying to get back into a routine after a summer full of debauchery. Y'all ain't seen my face on here pretty much all summer because your girl been out eating, having fun, like just on somebody's patio with a cocktail in her hand. And with that comes extra weight. All right. So we got to figure out how to stick to the routines that we set. Now, for me, fall brings a lot more structure. It brings routine. I don't know if a lot of you have children, but for me, my kids go back to school. And so when they're on a routine, I'm on a routine. But when they're off a routine, that's when everything gets a little muddy. So my kids are back in school. We're about to get back on a routine so we can be our best selves. I'm going to share with you some tips that you can take with you and keep with you even when life gets chaotic. So you won't fully fall off, but you will stay present in what your goals are and what your plans are. Let's jump in. The first thing you're going to have to do is get your mindset right. I know you probably heard this a million times, but you have to be in the mind of wanting to achieve your goals and dreams. All right. Sometimes we say it, we hear other people say it, and we like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. They, we want to get in shape too. They out there working out. That's real cute. And we want to do it too, but we haven't really gotten our mind right. We're not really there. We think we're there. We say we're there, but we are not really there. So let's break it down a little bit more. Routines don't actually mean perfection. Somewhere along the line, we got this mindset that if we miss a workout, that if we eat bad one day, that we just got to start over. The whole thing's ruined. We'll start again on Monday. The whole thing's done. That is not how this is going to work. You're going to have to get rid of that mindset. Just completely make that mindset leave your mind. Routines are consistency, okay? So you falling off one day, you not working out one day, you eating a cheat meal another day, which let me stop saying that as well, because I hate the word cheat meal. There is nothing cheating about food. You just have to make it work within your calorie count, but that's another story for another day. But you eating off of your plan one meal, even one whole day, that does not mean that the entire plan, the entire routine is ruined and you need to start over. You just need to pick up from where you are. Another mindset shift that I wish we would get rid of is that we're waiting for motivation. We're waiting to be motivated to move. We're waiting for some sort of sign. We're waiting for something to push us. Y'all, motivation is a big fat myth. We've talked about that before. Discipline is what's going to get you over the finish line. Discipline is what's going to get you up when the mornings get cold. Discipline is what's going to get you going to the gym when you just went the last 2 days in a row and your body is sore. That's going to be discipline. That's not going to be motivation. Discipline is going to make you eat that chicken and rice when you like, I don't want to eat chicken and rice anymore, and I want some fried chicken. Maybe some red beans and rice, but not like that chicken and white rice. That is where discipline's going to show up. You are not going to be motivated to do those things all the time. I would even argue that most of the time you're not going to be motivated to do those things. Discipline will keep you on track. Here's the kicker. Sticking to a routine isn't about the what, it's about the who. It's not about you journaling and going to the gym and eating right. It's about you becoming the person that you want to become, because your routine could have honestly nothing to do with whatever my routine is. But as long as the routine gets you closer to whatever that end goal is, as long as it's moving you along your journey, that's the real magic in the routine. And that's the identity shift that you're going to need to make it last. All right, let's get into the meat of it. Now we're going to talk about some actual strategies that you can use and implement starting today. You're going to start small. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people making is they're trying to overhaul their entire life in 1 week. They have this long to-do list of things that they want to do, things that they want to implement in their routine. They have a 90-minute morning routine. That is too much. If you've been doing nothing, you cannot go from 0 to 100 in 1 week. That's just not going to happen. So what you should do is start small, and then you can scale later. A 10-minute workout every day this week is much better than a 1-hour workout on Monday, and then you just fall off because your body's so sore you can't move and you can't get up. Do you see how that works? So 10 minutes of consistency every day beats that one day that you had that burst of motivation. If whatever you need to do to be consistent, start there, start small. Let me tell you one of my tricks. When I really don't feel like going to the gym, I head to the gym and I give it 30 minutes. I go to the gym and I give it 30 minutes. My normal at the gym is like between 75 and 90 minutes, but I give it 30 minutes. And I say, really, in 30 minutes, if I pack up everything and leave versus staying for another half an hour, if I just really, really, really want to pack up and leave after 30 minutes, I'll go ahead and go. But at least I got there. And I think only one time I did that. And after that, I realized I was actually sick, so I should have left. But other than that, I have never packed it up after 30 minutes because once I get there, it's like, fuck it. I'm here now. Like, what? We here now. We in it. We might as well just keep going. And that's always my mindset. So you can give yourself that limit on whatever it is, whether it's the gym, whether it's eating right, whether it's journaling or whatever it's going to be. Give yourself a little limit, like a dead stop limit. Like, I will stop right here if I really, really, really want to go after I've already gotten there. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to keep going. Another strategy I like to try is habit stacking. So habit stacking works well when you stack habits with something that you're already doing. It's already automatic, something you automatically don't have to think about. So for me, it has nothing to do with fitness or wellness, but I have been using these sacred edge drops on my hair. And so I brush my teeth in the morning. Right after I brush my teeth, I have my edge drop sitting right there. And I just use the edge drops right after I brush my teeth. Super simple habit stacking. I'm already brushing my teeth. I know for a fact I'm going to be at that sink in that same spot in the morning, every single morning. So my edge drops will be there. I put on the edge drops after I brush my teeth, and that's a 2-for-1. I get that done already throughout the day, and I don't forget. So you can habit stack with anything. If you want to stretch more, how about after you brush your teeth, you do a 2-minute stretch and it just becomes automatic. If you want to journal, how about you wake up, get your ice roller for your face out the freezer or the refrigerator, sit down and journal right at that point while you're ice rolling. Stack the habits onto something that's already automatic that you already don't have to think about. You also need to plan things out. If you leave it up to chance, your brain is going to talk you out of it. Plan things out. So if you know you need to go work out in the morning, plan your workout clothes. Put them out, set them out somewhere that's close to you when you wake up. So you wake up, you see those workout clothes, you automatically put those on. Plan your morning. Also, when your brain knows what it's supposed to do, it kind of just becomes routine. It becomes a little robotic, right? So your brain already knows, I'm going to wake up, I need to work out. So I'm going to wake up, put these clothes on. We're just going to walk out the door before we even think about it. That is how things become a routine. Things become a pattern. Put the workouts on your calendar, prep your meals on Sunday, leave as little as possible up to chance. Visually track your progress. This is a big one and one that I feel like people significantly undervalue. So I love me a good check off calendar, honey. I love a good calendar. So whether it's a calendar, whether you're taking photos of yourself every day, use something that you will visually see every day. make sure you're marking off your workouts, marking off when you stayed in your calorie deficit, marking off you want to walk 30 minutes every day. Check that off. Put it somewhere up where you're going to see it every single day. If it's in your office or in your bathroom on the mirror, wherever it is that you're going to pass it every single day and you can mark off your progress, do that. Humans love a good progress tracker. So don't sell yourself short. Make sure your progress is seen and it's visible. That really does help give you a boost of dopamine to keep you going. My last strategy is to make it enjoyable. Make it enjoyable. If you don't want to get up for a 6 a.m. boot camp, don't. You're not going to stick with it if you don't like it. Okay? Anytime I start getting bored with my workouts, I just stop doing that type of workout for the time being. So for me, I have memberships to 3 different gyms, and it might sound a little excessive. However, it is what helps keep me on my toes. It gives me a variety of workouts. If I don't want to go to Orange Theory, I can go to Hot Works and I can stretch and do a hot cycle class. If I don't want to go to Hot Works, I can go to Orange Theory and run. If I don't want to do either of those, I can go to my other gym and lift weights. If I don't want to do any of that, I can just go outside and walk. I also have a home gym in my garage. I can go outside and walk. I can run the block, whatever it is I want to do. There are so many different types of workouts out there. You can find yoga or Pilates or a boxing class or get into a sport that keeps you active. There are so many ways that you are able to stay active if we're talking about just working out. So don't box yourself into something that you don't like. Everyone doesn't have to lift weights. I didn't lift weights all summer really because my mind wasn't there. I wasn't into it. And now I feel so reinvigorated and I'm back at it. But I was not excited about lifting weights, so I did not go to lift weights this summer. I think I lifted weights probably 3 or 4 times this entire summer because I was just over it. But now I feel good about it again and I'm back at it. So make sure you have different workouts that you can do. Try different things. See what you like and just stick with something. Now let's talk about some of the traps that we all fall into, because we all fall into these traps, okay? And this one we talked about a little bit earlier, but going into that all or nothing mindset. I missed a day. Oh, well, that's the end of it. I messed up. Or I'll start over on Monday. I missed a day. I can't get back on it today, so I'll just start over on Monday, even though it's Wednesday. What sense does that make? Think about all the progress you could have made if you would have just picked it up after you stumbled. You just picked it right back up and kept going. Think about all the time you missed and all the progress you could have made, but you decided to quit and wait until Monday again. Yeah. Another pitfall I try to avoid is skipping twice. So it's one thing to say, you know what, I'm just really exhausted today. I'm going to skip my workout today. It's another thing to skip it twice. Skip it 3 times. Like I'll give myself 1, but when I'm skipping it twice, like that's when I'm like, something is up. So maybe you need to take an audit of yourself and where you are, or maybe you just need to get out your funk and get your ass up. Like sometimes you just got to talk to yourself like that. Girl, we skipped yesterday. You ain't tired. Get up. Let's go. We going. Even if it's just for that 30-minute limit, even if it's just for that, we're getting up and we're going. So I do not let myself skip twice. And I think you can pull this over to the food and meals as well. So if you have a meal that is outside of your meal plan for breakfast, don't do it again for lunch. If you do it for lunch, don't do it again for dinner. And just make sure that you are being very aware of what you're doing and just making sure that you're not doing it twice in a row. Another pitfall that we kind of talked about a little bit ago, but doing too much too soon. That is a surefire way of you falling off and not jumping back on it. Like our brains and bodies can only handle but so much at a time. So what you do is you start small and then you stack things on top of that. So this week we go into the gym, we do a 15-minute workout. Next week, maybe we push that up to a 20-minute, 25-minute. Next week, we do a 30-minute. And whatever feels comfortable for you to add that you can sustainably continue. Sustainability is the key. Again, if it's not sustainable, if it's not something that you like to do, you're not going to do it. You want to remove every barrier that you can in order to help you stick to your plan. So for me, the hardest routine for me to stick to it's just always been my diet. That is still the hardest routine for me to stick to. And it is something that I have to actively work on and actively make sure I'm paying attention to every single day. Like, seriously, it is so hard for me to stick to my calorie deficit. So currently I am in a 6-week mini cut. I've been doing so well on my workouts. I'll give myself a grade of maybe a C plus on my meals. And that's just something that I continue to work on. So what helps me a lot with that is food journaling. And whether it's on paper or whether it's just in my MyFitnessPal app, tracking my calories and really writing down what I'm eating, every single little bit, to the sauces and the drinks and just everything, all the butter that you put on your food, all of that should be calculated into your calories. And those can easily creep up. And if you're not careful, you're going to be like, oh, I've only been eating chicken and rice all week. I don't understand why I'm gaining weight. But you're putting tons of butter or you're putting sauces or whatever else on your food, and that is adding on calories. So every single thing that I ingest, I make sure that I am food journaling so I can see where I am. And it helps even on those days that I mess up, because when I put that meal in, like I have stopped myself from eating certain foods because I don't want to put that meal in MyFitnessPal and look at myself in the mirror and go, girl, now you knew better. Like that has actively stopped me from eating certain places and eating certain meals. So when you have to really look at it and look yourself in the mirror and say, girl, you messing up, it makes it a little easier to continue on with your plans. So the key takeaway here is that routines don't just stick because they're perfect. They stick because you're being consistent and realistic with them. Start small, incorporate it into your life, and give yourself a pat on the back for the small win. What is one routine that you're trying to master right now? Let me know down below in the comments, because I want to cheer you on and I want us to cheer each other on down below in the comment section. So if these tips help, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and share this with one of your I'll Start Monday friends, because I know you got some. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.